Lou, stick with us, please. We are now joined by two friends of ours, Larry Pratt from Gun Owners of America and John Lott, who is the brightest human being on the planet when it comes to ownership of guns and the effect of the government attempting to take guns from us. Larry, we saw each other Friday at CPAC. Professor Lott, I haven't seen you in a while, but welcome to Freedom Watch.
Good to talk to you.
Thanks for having us.
Larry, let's start with you. What's the legislation that you expect to come down the pike from the Democrats in the House or from the White House itself to restrict the present lawful ownership of guns, whether it be sidearms, whether it be pistols, or whether it be what the left likes to call assault weapons?
Well, they've already thrown quite a punch. They put $20 billion in the government surplus or stimulus bill, and that's to make all our medical records in a uniform computerized access so that when they do background checks now to see who doesn't have their gun rights anymore, they're going to have all Americans. So anybody that has a medical diagnosis, not a court finding, just a medical diagnosis that says they might be a danger to themselves or somebody else, zap, they won't be able to buy a gun, they won't be able to get another concealed carry permit, and that's already been done, and it's going to be the legs, if you will, for legislation that Bush signed into law, which says that if you have one of these diagnoses, you can't have a gun. Now the funding, $20 billion, is going to make it happen.
You look at Eric Holder's testimony before the Senate when he was being confirmed. I mean, he listed a long list of different gun control laws that he wanted the administration to push, and it sounded like he was speaking for the administration when he was listing out the assault weapons ban, one gun a month rules. There were a number of different things that he was talking about, and I assume that they're going to go through it. My big concern isn't just the new legislation that they may pass. It's that as Attorney General, he has so much control and power over the enforcement of laws. And there's so many different ways you can make it difficult and costly for people to be able to own guns. Just give you one example. Look at the breakdowns in the criminal background checks that occurred under the Clinton administration. During the last 12 months that they were in office, on average, the background checks were breaking down for 5.5 days a month. Can you imagine trying to run a business where the system may break down for an hour or 10 minutes or 5 hours or 3 or 4 days, and you don't know how long that's going to be broken down. You don't know whether to send your employees home or not, because 2 minutes after you send them home, it may be possible for you to start selling your product again. And there were times when you'd have gun shows where the system would be down during the entire weekend, and any of the sales at the gun show that would have required a background check to have them go through would have been impossible to have done. Go through would have been impossible to have done. I mean, that imposes a real cost. I mean, anybody trying to run any type of business would find it very difficult to keep doing it. And the number of federally licensed firearm dealers has fallen by over 80% from 94 until now.
Excellent point about the regulatory misadventures that we're going to see. There's a feature in the 1968 Gun Control Act that I would anticipate Holder using a great deal. It has this very unconstitutional notion that importation of firearms and ammunition can be barred if they're not suitable for sporting use, as in the right to keep and bear sporting arms. And already guns and ammo are at a premium, hard to find. There's quite a run on them because of Obama, and this will be one of the reasons I think people are going to find that there's even tighter restrictions in the market because of what Holder can do without one vote being cast.
Larry, play out the case as to why there is a run on guns and ammo now in March 2009 in the 7th week of the presidency of Barack Obama. Why are people buying guns and ammo, and why are they tough to get?
It didn't start with the Obama administration. This run started well before. I started getting calls personally, as well as the same kind of accounts from others, well before the election, when it was evident that Obama was likely to win. his record is so strongly anti-self-defense, anti-individual gun ownership, that people realize that if he were to be elected, it was going to be harder and harder, likely, to be able to get a gun. And so, I was getting questions from legislators and from retired ladies living in gated communities. What kind of gun should I get? Where's a good place to get a gun? So this has been going on for quite some time, and every time Eric Holder or Obama on his website at whitehouse.gov says they want to ban guns, the run just gets tighter and stronger.
Peter Schiff?
Well, sure. I mean, I think one of the things that we need to be concerned about is the ability to defend ourselves. Not just from criminals, and I think there's going to be a greater need for that, because I think a lot of the local, municipalities are going to be in a situation where they're going to be cutting back on police protection at the same time that crime is going to be escalating. So I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to be able to defend themselves. But the real reason we have a Second Amendment is not so we can protect ourselves from criminals, but
have a crime rate even worse than the districts.
John Lott?
Right. Well, I think at some point the administration's going to have to deal with just the weight of even liberal academic studies on these gun control issues. I don't know of one single academic study by a criminologist or an economist, for example, that found that the assault weapons ban lowered violent crime rate, any type of violent crime rate in the United States. I don't know of one single academic study by a criminologist or economist that find that the one gun a month bill that they seem to be so hot for has had any reduction in any type of violent crime rate. There's some evidence that those types of rules have actually been counterproductive in cases, but there's no evidence that's reduced it. And even studies that were paid for by the Clinton administration weren't able to document significant drops in violent crime rates from the gun control laws that were passed during the Clinton administration.
Pratt and John Lott, thanks very much for joining us. We hope to have you back on Freedom Watch one of these Wednesday afternoons.
Look forward to it.
Thank you very much.